Hello guys and welcome back to another UCL Fantasy video. Today I've decided to create a limitless draft for the upcoming Matchday 4. I've got several people requesting it and I was like, okay, if people want it, I will deliver it. So it's going to be a live building of the limitless draft for the upcoming Matchday 4. Of course, we are going to start with fixtures, but during the building we will once again remember and see the fixtures once again if I'm missing a player or not. Here we have unlimited funds, unlimited transfers, and we can build whatever we want and we can avoid the fixtures that are not very favorable for our team. Of course, there are going to be several teams that we might triple up on them. We might include a cheap player if he's the better option of the team compared to the more expensive ones, but we wouldn't care about budget and we wouldn't care about how many transfers we do. So this is basically a best team, a limitless team, if you can call it a free hit team, whatever you want to call it, this is it. Now let's go and analyze those fixtures. So here are the fixtures for the upcoming Matchday 4. We start with two games that are very helpful for a lot of people. It's Napoli versus Frankfurt and Slavia Praha versus Arsenal. I think we have obvious favorites here in Napoli and Arsenal, but Frankfurt can be a very big wild card here and can surprise anyone. Last time around, Napoli lost to PSV 6-2, which was a lot of goals conceded, but Frankfurt lost 5-1 to Liverpool. Both teams have won already in their respective leagues. They've scored goals and I expect goals in that fixture. Moving then to Slavia Praha versus Arsenal. I think now that Arsenal is a team to triple up in that match day. I'm deliberating between a double or a triple defense, but most probably we'll double it up and then we'll go with a player from their attacking ranks against Slavia Praha, because I expect Arsenal to score a lot of goals in that fixture. They will keep a clean sheet, but I'm on the brink of it, but probably two defenders and one attacker is going to be the formula that I go for. Then we move to Olympiacos versus PSV. It's going to be a PSV favorites here. Sorry, Lunatic and my Greek fans out there, but I feel like PSV, we want to build up on that win last time around against Napoli. The thing in hand for Olympiacos is that they're at home, and in Greece I think PSV might struggle, so I would genuinely avoid these teams in general, especially on a limitless chip activated. Then we move to PSG versus Bayern Munich, and honestly this game is unpredictable. Probably would avoid the teams as a whole. Of course, we can bring in Nuno Mendes or Hakimi, probably Nuno Mendes because this is his year in UCL Fantasy and he's doing amazingly well. But yeah, all in all, I think that here we can be a little bit let's say cautious when bringing players. Liverpool versus Real Madrid, it's another derby game, and here I suspect that I will be probably opting for someone like Kylian Mbappe. Liverpool are conceding goals for fun this season against anyone. Of course, they're conceding a lot from set pieces, not from open play, but Mbappe has been involved in everything that Real do. So here Real will be probably favorites for a goal scorer, but anyone else from these teams I would personally avoid. Moving then to Spurs versus Copenhagen. I think Spurs here are good favorites to win, so they're a team to target. Juve versus Sporting. I feel like Juve with a new manager are going to be the favorites. Bordeaux versus Monaco. I would be a little bit hesitant here and not pick any of their players. And then it's Atleti versus Union. I feel like here Atleti is a massive team to target against Union, so I will be most probably going for at least one player from Atleti, but maybe looking for a double up as well. Moving into day 2 here, Karabakh versus Chelsea. I feel like Chelsea are going to be a team to target. The sad thing with Chelsea is that we don't know who will start, because they play on the second day and they tend to rotate in Europe like shown in the previous fixture. But the good thing is that we will have the benching, we will have the lineups out before locking on the deadline, so we can adjust our squad. Villarreal, not a bad team to target as well. Marseille versus Atalanta. I feel like it's a 50-50 game, but I can see Paihao, Greenwood being option for Marseille, and Atalanta defensive options might be good to go as well. Ajax versus Galatasaray, here I heavily favor Galatasaray. I feel like they are a team in form, while Ajax are just struggling. Bruges versus Barcelona, here I think Barca are the massive favorites, and I will be investing in their players. Man City versus Dortmund, probably a player from City is not going to be something that I omit, and I think I'm going with the City assets here. Benfica versus Leverkusen, it's a 50-50 game, but probably I will favor the Mourinho side. Sadly, I don't know if I will be taking any players. Leverkusen with Grimaldo, he is an option, but after that pen miss, I don't know if he is going to be on penalties anymore. Inter versus Kairat, here Inter are the massive favorites, but there is one viewer that suggested there is going to be rotation for Inter Milan. I can neither confirm or deny this, but I feel like at least one player from Inter Milan is required. And Newcastle versus Athletic, I feel like going for Newcastle assets will be key. There are a lot of fixtures that might seem 50-50, but I think with smart building and with a lot of funds allocated in the right directions, we can build an amazing lineup. So let's go and start building. I think we will reference these fixtures at least several more times, but let's go and focus on what we know and where we would like to strengthen up first, and then we will adjust the positions as the time goes. So here is how my team looks at the moment. It's an empty squad. I'm surprised to see that I've got 1.2 millions of increases of price so far, which is a great price increase to be fair, and I will be gaining that 5 million after the group stages. So I think I will be with a very good squad value moving into the knockout stages, where all the points will be given and where the ranks will be increased. Now, how will I start? As mentioned, probably my target is to pick Arsenal players to start the week with, and as mentioned, the good thing is that we will know the lineup from Arsenal. Now, what I would personally do here is I would pick 2 defenders and 1 midfielder. I was deliberating should I go for Raya, but on a Limitless, if I know which defender is starting, I just play him. So let's consider these Arsenal defenders as not something in particularly nailed, but for example, Gabriel is the first position in, and for example, either Timber or Lewis Kelly. I prefer probably Lewis Kelly to go in if I am sure that he starts, because if he starts, I feel like he will play a lot of the time there. 90 minutes, but he missed the Atletico Bilbao game, so we don't know who starts and who doesn't, but the beauty of it is we will know that information. I was deliberating for Raya, but I think I have another keeper that I want to include in that rotation, so I'm going to skip it for now. Now the next player that I would be probably getting is, if I know Bukayo Saka starts, I will get Bukayo Saka into the side, and he is a very good captain for match day 4 day 1, because he faces Slavia Praha. Of course, I would personally risk it probably with someone like Gabriel. Why not? Why you shouldn't risk it? No reason to not do so. Now, these are the fixtures that we wanted to open with. Next, moving to the next team from day 1 that I want to focus on. This is Atleti versus Union. And here is where the first keeper comes into mind. And that is going to be, of course, Jan Oblak. This keeper will be a solid day 1 in match day 4. Of course, we can go for someone like Llorente in midfield, Simeone in midfield, Griezmann up front, Lenormand, so on and so on. But I think Oblak, yes, they've conceded goals against Arsenal a lot, against Frankfurt 1, but I feel like against Union they will provide that clean sheet. And of course, I cannot go on a limitless draft without bringing in Julian Alvarez into the side. Another day 1 great captaincy shout. He has been scoring some amazing stuff already this season, and if you are going for Alvarez, I think he is a brilliant shout for captaincy on day 1, if you're not willing to go for someone like Gabriel. Of course, Llorente is brilliant, but he tends to only score against Liverpool, so I would personally not go there. Simeone's son is with nice point spread, but for me it's Alvarez and Oblak, and everything else is out of the equation for me. Now, this is the day one favorites that I wanted to mention. Let's move to some day two favorites, because I think here we have more clear paths to what I like and what I want to get. And firstly, what I want to get is a second keeper, and I'll be getting Nick Pope. I think that Pope is getting some good scores, 19 points. He's with 9, 8, and 2 against Barcelona because, of course, he conceded. But yeah, he's making saves. Newcastle are playing well defensively and offensively. If I find a place for someone like Gordon, I might introduce him here. But for me, Pope and Oblak are a very, very nice rotation pair. Next up, the player that I want to return in my side is Denzel Dumfries. For me, probably the best asset at the moment. Yes, he might be benched, but I literally couldn't care less. I feel like Inter and against Kairat is another fixture for him to score a lot of goals. Moving to Barcelona, I'm bringing Yamal back. I know he's not in amazing form, but let's be real, against Bruges, he can find the net easily. And the other player that I was deliberating was Rashford, but now with Torres and Rafinha back, I don't know if he starts at all. Of course, someone like Fermin Lopez, who is in an amazing form. Yes, he scored 20, but he scored in the El Clasico as well. He's in a good form. I don't know if he will be playing, so I cannot recommend him. But if you have some rumors who is starting for Barcelona, Fermin Lopez is very high on the list to join the frame as well. Man City versus Dortmund, immediately adding one player in particular, and that's Erling Haaland. I'm getting a lot of day 2 players. Let's go for dates, because we literally couldn't care less about the prices. I already have 1, 2, 3, 4 players. I'm bringing Osimhen. Let's not fool ourselves. And that's the front line done. Like, I don't want to add anyone else. 3 penalty takers. We add Yamal if Rafinha is not on the field. He's a penalty taker. We add Saka, who's probably on penalties. So I've added a lot of penalty takers there. And I feel like Osimhen, Haaland, and Alvarez are a good trio to capitalize on. Now, maybe I need to take a look at match day for day one better, because I need some players there. And yeah, I can go for Spurs. I can go for a defender from Spurs, which isn't that hard to go for. Someone like Van den Ven. But if I'm on that limitless, I'm going for Nuno Mensch. Sorry. And I think that will wrap up the defenders from the first day. I think I want 3 defenders on the first day and 2 on the second. So here I will add a Chelsea defender, someone like, let's say, Chalobah. I think that Chalobah is still one of the most nailed defenders, even though he was rotated last time around. If he doesn't start the game, you can just leave him on the bench and that will be it. But I feel like Haaland, Osimhen, Yamal, they're all in for starting. Of course, we can do something even better and just get a second Barcelona asset. 4.9 for Baure. Literally the price doesn't matter. But yeah, maybe Baure is the smartest choice here. In midfield, speaking about Chelsea, I will be going with Enzo Fernandez. I know that it's saying he is injured, but that's an old information, so I'm going with Enzo Fernandez here. And of course, I want to get that UG's spot against Sporting. I know it seems at the moment not very smart to go for a Juve player, but with their new manager, I feel like they will get the instant improvement and we can wrap it up here. And of course, now we need a last player to go for our teams. Of course, I can go for an Inter asset, I can go for a Newcastle asset. I prefer to get home fixtures. To be fair, adding penalty taker like Enzo Fernandez is nice. I can go for another Barcelona player. I like it a lot. I can go for a Spurs player. I can risk it with someone like Salah, but he's not in a particularly good form. And yeah, probably not that exciting to risk. Arsenal I've already got. The midfielders are pretty tough this year to pick, especially in tough positions. Let's go in tough prices. Of course, I meant let's go to midfielders and let's... So Gordon is pretty high. Another penalty taker added. Paixão is pretty high. I cannot return Paixão, but probably I will return Gordon. Atalanta are saying that they are not interested, not Atalanta, Atletico Bilbao say that they are not very much interested in going for the UCL fixtures and they can play like this. So I can leave my team as this. Of course, Nuno Mensch is a risk, but this guy has been pocketing everyone so far this year. I like him. We have a nice balance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players on the second day, 7 on the first. Maybe I would prefer one more on the first to see the scores and then put them in. But yeah, if I have all of my players returning, someone like Pope is not coming on, someone like Dumfries might not be coming on due to rotation, Baude as well. It all depends what type of returns I have. But for now, I feel like this team is pretty strong. I want to hear your opinion on it, but I like it. Day 1 captain for me is Alvarez. Day 2 is probably going to be someone like Yamal or Haaland. Pretty easy choices. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalty takers, and Yamal a potential penalty taker as well. Can I do this with the new manager? You never know, but most certainly he isn't going to play that much of a penalty taker role in their team, especially having someone like Vlahovic, Jonathan David, who are, in my opinion, ahead of him. This is going to be the end of the Limitless video, guys. I will be preparing a wildcard video. I will be keeping it around the 100.5 budget, but we'll talk about it in the next one. League code is above. You can join the mini league and compete against me. Of course, you can subscribe to the channel. I'm so close to those 5k subscribers. Let's push in the next 2 months to reach them. I think it's very feasible for us to do it, and then probably we'll set up the 10k goal. And I don't know if I will be able to do that 10k goal for several years, but we will keep grinding. For now, it's 5k, and let's push together in that direction. Thanks so much for watching. If you think I've missed someone, don't forget to go and mention it down in the comment section. I feel like I got most of the positions sorted out, but of course you can have a different opinion and you can give it to me, because I like listening to your opinion, and it will be better if we build it together. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being active on the channel. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.